All right, good morning. We are we are back on a Friday. Let's see if we can't make some trades on a Friday. I need to go through my watch list here and uh, get rid of some things. My Voyager swing did not work out. I had to sell it because of the drop it started to take, but it's because of the funkiness going on right now with cryptos. First, Janet Yellen comes out and says that we should regulate it and all of that because it's being used for illegal activities. Well, now she's changed her tune and saying we should look at the benefits of it. And then at the same time, there was some data company or something that said there was a double spend issue with crypto or with Bitcoin that happened, and that actually didn't happen. So we're getting media and government trying to manipulate cryptos now. So that's fantastic. But anyway, to stocks. I just wanted to talk about that for a second because it is really annoying. This is looking like a decent play here, possibly. Yeah, I'm actually going to go on this. I'm going to go 30 shares because this on the daily is a breakout pattern. And then we already have a nice little U shape here. If this can break the 740 area. But a lot of times when you have a big green candle on the daily and then a little red candle that pulls back midways the day after, then on the third day you usually get a nice continuation pattern. You can see this is already breaking up out of this U shape buying signal there on the 1 minute on the Darvas box. So let's see what we got here. 778. 780 is some resistance. Right now 750 is holding up as some resistance, but got pretty decent buying volume coming in. If that can keep coming in here. We may have a little pullback. Because it is off of the 9 EMA on the 5 minute a little bit, but now it is Friday too, so Fridays can be a little trickier. So normally this pattern, like I said, probably 8 out of 10 times usually leads to a bigger, a nice move the next day, but Fridays can mess with that. Let's see. You got some buyers trying to hold up 715 as support, and that you can see they bought that right up off that 715 area. How low float is OBL in? Pretty sure OBL is really low. Yes, OBL in super low float. So this is a very low float play. If a lot of volume comes in, this can rip. What's up, Daniel B? Good morning, buddy. But we need to see this. We need to see buying volume coming back in here in the next 5 minutes. We don't want this candle to drop too much lower. See a little resistance at that 730 mark. There we go. Are starting to pop back up a little bit. See the buyers push that up off that 715 mark there. Now it just needs to break over this 760 here and make a new high. Let's see if 750 gets taken out. There's a lot of sellers sitting on the ask at 750. And they're getting taken out. Needs to hit it one more time, but they were getting taken out. Oh, it hit it another time. Took a few more out. Let's see. There it goes. Still a little selling pressure, but it is starting to show a little breakthrough. No, still getting hung up. Okay. So that 750 is pretty tough. We need to see it keep testing that 750. We don't want to pull them back at this point. We want to keep this upward momentum and get a break of 750 here real soon. Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, the 1 minute does kind of look like a cup and handle. Usually the handle's a little bit lower than this. And usually be more like this. But it is a cup and handle on the 1 minute. See, we're getting rejected here at that 750 pretty hard, so this may not break out. It needs to break over. It needs to break and hold 750 very soon. We do not want this to doji out either. Just stay above the 9 EMA here on the 1 minute. So you're buying it for a whole day rally? It could. It could. Right now, though, it's a little sketchy. We do have a little bit of a double top here on the 5 minute. And we are getting a little pullback. See, we got 14 seconds on this 5 minute candle to close. It needs to hold above that 715. Yeah, so you can see that little drop. Buyers pushed it right back up over the 9 EMA. So that's a decent sign of buying strength. But we gotta keep seeing this buying volume come in. It's got to keep testing 750. Now, if this candle can break over 750, this will be an engulfing candle on the 5 minute, which is a candle indicator that we could be getting that breakout. But 750 was really tough that first time, so I don't know. Some selling pressure still on this. What is this up? It's only up 40%. Yeah, that's selling pressure right there on the 1 minute. They pushed it down. Buyers trying to push it back up. Oof. Yeah, I'm not going. I mean, you seem very confident that it's going to run all day, and it is a possibility. That's why I jumped in it. But I'm not having that type of mentality where, you're saying it's going to do this all day. That can lead to you bag holding and losing a lot of money. So I'm only going to hold it as long as the price action is in my favor. And right now, the price action is... It's a little bit of indecision. We're kind of consolidating here. Little tug of war with the buyers and sellers. Let's see. So the 740 gets taken out. So we have sellers who drop down to 40 to 740 on the ask. A lot of them got taken out there. Yeah, One Life has the band hammer now, so I can focus on trading. And if he's not trading, he can help me out a little bit with the live stream chat. Yeah, a lot of indecision here on this. Looks like we're starting to get bids stacking at 725, so that's a good thing. The support was at 715, so it moves up to 725. That's good. We want support to continue to rise. We want that floor to continue to rise, so that way we can see the ceiling start to rise. Let's see, yeah, 725 still trying to hold up. Got to get all these sellers out of here. We got bag holders and stuff from, and probably shorters too, from this initial run up in pre-market. So we got to get all these sellers out of here, which means we need to keep consistent buying volume. Buying volume's a little light. So we got a minute on this 5-minute candle. But we need to see 725 continue to hold up at least. Hmm, 725 cracked there. You see 715 hold up here. $7.15 not holding up. So this may pull back to 685 here on the 5-minute. Okay, we got buyers trying to hold 7 up. See, that's that indecision though. We had 725 holding the support and all that. Ooh, let's see. 7 really needs to hold up here. It's a lot of selling pressure. Yeah, that's scary, man. I know how that feels. H&A trader, it's a scary thing. Daniel B, you know what a cup and handle pattern is. Actually got a little sell short signal there on the 1-minute. $7.25 starting to act as resistance now. We do not want to see that. We do not want this getting held up at $7.25. But on the overall picture, the 5-minute 9 EMA is catching up. We were a little bit off when it made that first move to 750, so we were, the 9 EMA is down 676, and this is way up here at 750. So now that it's catching up, as long as it can hold, as long as it can hold on this candle above $7. 7 getting taken out here slowly. Okay, buyer's still trying to hold it up though. We gotta stop testing this support though. This $7 support is our last ditch support. We want to be testing resistance, not support. But you can see all the selling pressure on these candles. Basically from that 725 to 750, a lot of selling pressure in there. All these wicks getting pushed down. And we did have buyers push some of these wicks up. Why am I trading this one, Daniel B? Because of the daily chart. It had a big run up Wednesday, had a sell off yesterday to about midways down this big green candle. And then a lot of times you see on the third day, you can see a nice run. And it has lots of volume. It's got 41 million in volume so far this morning, so a ton of volume on it. The Darvas indicator, that's something new I'm experimenting with, so I'm not going to be able to give you the best explanation of it. But basically, it has to do with the price action of the stock in these boxes. So these boxes kind of act as support and resistance indicators. Shit, we just cracked 7. I need to hold on. I'll try to explain that in a second, but this is real sketchy right here. So it's got 10 seconds. This candle needs to close back over 7. So we need that 5 minute to hold up. If it's 5-minute 9 doesn't hold up, then we've lost our momentum. This needs to get back over 7 real soon here. Alright, there is some support at 675 that can hold up, but this is getting real sketchy. And you see on the 5 minute we've had 3 candles in a row with sellers outweighing the buyers. And that's not a good thing. We really need to see buy-in push us back over 7 here soon. The next couple of minutes. See, some sellers sitting at 694. The sellers keep dropping down on the ass. They're trying to push us down. Feels like there's a lot of shorting pressure in this. And those shorters are probably sitting at that 750 area. And now they're trying to push it down because right now that's what it looks like. It looks like shorters trying to hold it down, that because every time the shorters move down on the ask, trying to put that weight. So this is, if it can hold above the 5-minute EMA here on this candle, and then on this next 5-minute candle we start to see it push back up to 7, it still could be fine. But if it does not hold up here, then this thing is going to come down hard. 675 needs to hold. So I'm trying to give this 5-minute candle a chance to close, but if this really starts cracking, I'm going to have to get out. So we got 45 seconds. Buyers need to push this back up immediately or this is done for. That's what I was saying on Friday. Let's see. Looks like we do have a bit of a trend line. So yeah, there is a trend line. So that 650 is worst case. See a lot of sellers sitting on the ask at 660 now. Okay, they got taken out. Daniel B talking crazy. This is getting so close to really cracking here. I redraw my trend line so it's a little bit more clear. Look at this on the 15-minute here real quick and see what the overall picture on the 15-minute is. Okay. So yeah, this is the last stand of support here. This trend line has to hold up. See, it's starting to push back up and bounce over that trend. It's getting a decent little bounce off of this trend line. Needs to get over 675 again. Let's see here. Buying is real low. I mean, look at these on the 1 minute. You see very small green candles. Need to see a good bit of buying volume come back in. See, buyers were trying to hold up 660, but there's not enough buyers to hold it up. So then you see that's cracking. Okay, yeah, so they did end up holding it up. Bounce off of that 650 again. So we got 10 seconds on this little candle to close. So we're still testing this trend line. This is still extremely sketchy. Hmm, 660 starting to act as resistance. Yeah, you can see those sellers sitting at 660 now. 10,000 share sellers sitting there. That's got to get taken out quick. Because the 5 minute is a better picture overall. The 1 minute is good if you're looking for quick little rips, but when I'm looking for like a big breakout like this, I want to see it. I want to see an overall picture of the price action. Because right through here, you know, on the 1 minute, this looks like if you're just looking at the 1 minute, this looks like uncertain death, like you're going to lose. Like this thing is just going to dump and dump and dump. But if you look at the 5 minute, you can see that this stock is still on an uptrend. Even though it had that sell off on the 1 minute, the overall movement of the stock is on this uptrend. And of course, you can draw that on the 1 minute, but the longer it gets in the day, the more stretched out this will be because of how many candles there are on the 1 minute. And a lot of times too, on the 1 minute, you can have a quick little a quick little drop or something. So like right back here, you can see where this 1 minute candle dropped all the way down to 660 before it came back up. Alright, so then over here, you know, it doesn't look quite as bad. Like, because there it dropped below the 9 EMA. And here it never dropped below the 9 EMA at all. So you might think this is going bearish on the 1 minute, when in reality, the overall stock movement is still bullish. And right now we're in a lot of indecision. We're still technically bullish on this uptrend as long as the trend holds, but if this trend breaks, then this is going to be over with. And that's my concern right now, is this trend line breaking, because we're not getting a lot of buying volume coming back in here. There's not a lot of selling volume at the moment either, but we want to see more buying volume than selling, and that's not the case at the moment, as we're testing this trend line support here. We're like getting just enough buying volume to hold this on the trend line, but it can only hold here for so long. Buyers will get tired of trying to hold it up, because the whole reason that people are buying right here on this trend line is because they want to see it push back up. They're looking to make a profit, right? So if they see that the stock is not pushing back up, then they're gonna stop trying to hold up that support. They're gonna start getting out. Those buyers that are there are gonna turn into sellers as well. So that's my big concern, is we're gonna go from, you know, the buyers and sellers fighting right here at the support to buyers giving up and becoming sellers, and then this will dump. So that's why I keep saying it needs to get back over that 675 soon. The buyers that are holding it up now need to see that this thing still has some strength and that they can make some money on it. Okay, big seller. See, we keep getting these big shit. Keep getting these big position share sizes of sellers. That's why I really think there's a lot of shorters in this, trying to push it down. Because if it cracks here, then the shorters get control of it. It could drop all the way back down to 6 or even lower. That's why we need to see buying volume coming in. This doesn't have much longer. If we stay on this trend line for another minute or two, there's going to be a big sell-off. See, we got buyers trying to hold 660. If they get taken out, oof, and they did just get taken out. So 650. Oh, see, we're starting to crack. I'm about to have to get out of this. This does not pull back above 650. Then this is going to be done. And I've really held this way too long anyway. But I was trying to give it a chance. See, 650 now starting to hold as resistance. Yeah, shorters have got control of this now. If buyers don't come in right here and take back control, this is it. but it doesn't look good now. That 650 cracking, that's not a good thing. That's a sign of weakness. Like I said, those sellers or those buyers that were holding it up here on the trend line got tired. They're like, oh, we ain't gonna make any money here, so we gotta sell this. And you see, that's what happened. Little crack in the sell. Another sell off. See, 650 holding up as resistance. That's not a good thing at all. It needs to break back over 650. Yes, he's still getting held up at 650. So see, those shorters have moved down to 650. Trying to break through that 650 again right there. Well, I'm going to put And you can see here too, this is what I was talking about. There wasn't that much buying coming back in either on this trend line. One last thing, SunW and XPEV. I'm about to look at some other plays because the odds of this coming back up are not good. The probability is getting pretty low. So 640 is trying to hold up with all this selling. See all the red coming through on the time and sell. I'm trying to give us half a second to see if it's going to come back up or not, but I'm going to have to get out of this. See, 640 starting to hold as resistance again. So a little bit of buying coming back in there. Now this could be buying or this could be shorters covering their positions because this did just drop from 750 to 650. That's a whole dollar drop. So this could be shorters covering and not new buyers. If this is not new buyers and this is shorters covering, this is still in bad shape. If it's new buyers, then we should see it push up back above that trend line, or at least back above the 9 EMA on the 5. See how, look at this resistance. Look at all these sellers on the ass there trying to hold it down to 650. See if we can get back over 650, because we finally did get some buying volume that outweighed the selling. But like I said, that could have been just shorts covering. Getting real close to cracking here. 630. Oh yeah, 630 is kind of the last. No, 630. I mean, this is. Really need to. I really should go ahead and get out of this. Yeah, there's a bunch of sellers, bunch of big sellers sitting on the ask. So this is just probably going to keep selling off. Let's see, I'm trying to see if there's any. There's a little support in there. Interestingly enough, there's another sales signal on the Darvas box. Volume has decreased quite a bit. You can see how much the volume's decreased on the 5-minute. I'm gonna go ahead and put a stop loss, because if it cracks any lower, then let me see what's going on. I can't see the. Sorry guys, I'm just thinking here. I'm thinking what I want to do. Where did they hit? 620. Okay. And I'm just gonna put a stop loss in, because if it can hold up here. So what do we got? A minute and a half on this 5-minute candle. If it can hold up here. Then possibly we are starting to get a little bit of buying back in these low areas. So there's a possibility if it can hold up here, it might be able to start coming back up, but it's not a great probability. But it is possible. I'm gonna go ahead and put my stop loss. Let's see, 620. Okay. Go ahead and just put a stop loss in here. Give that a chance to do its thing. Let's see what else we got. See how's Voyager doing. That didn't do anything. Fubo going sideways. GameStop. Let's see. GameStop been consolidating sideways since it hit that high in after hours yesterday. Possibility there. See, that looks like garbage, 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 garbage. Somewhat interesting. CLII. What is that up? 55%? I'll keep that on watch. Don't like that. Don't like that. Don't like that. VXX. What is this? Is this a volatility ITN? Oh yeah, so VXX, yeah, this is a inverse ETF. I think it could be an inverse ETN, but I think it's an ETF. As you can see back here in March, where when the market sold off, this did rip big. I'm going to put this on my ETF watch list because What does the SPY, how does the SPY look? Because I do think there's a crash coming soon. I don't know when, but at some point. And this ETF has been holding pretty good support in this 1950 area, so that could be interesting. See, OBLN did push up back up to 660, but still some selling pressure on it. I'm going to give that a chance to maneuver around. Let's take a look back. This one is... This one is interesting because this is a climate change one with what all Joe Biden's doing. PLTR, what I was talking about. Dumb and Dumber movie references, yeah. The Spy is coming, yeah. See, that's what I was looking at. That's why I was that VXX grabbed my attention. It was starting to move up like this. I'm also interested in the CLI one though. God, that went on a massive run. They go. Yeah, that doubled in price, $4 to $8.80. I'm gonna throw it up on the watch list, but oh, I just got stopped out on OBLN, so that couldn't hold up. Let's see. Yeah, so decent loss there. Let's see, real quick. I want to see. There's some volatility in the market. Let's see what the numbers are looking at. Yeah, I don't know how everybody's gonna react to Janet Yellen. I don't know how the market's gonna react with that. This guy is still halted. MTC making a decent move. MoneyGram had a nice move up, but coming back down now. MTC is above all indicators. So where's that resistance? That's 297. If it could re-break over 3, it could keep going. I'm going to go here on MTC. I get filled 292. Getting in kind of early on this. I may have gotten in too early. Let's see. 275. Okay. So I'm going to put a lot tighter stop loss on this one because I don't want to take too much of a bigger loss. But if this can come back up and test 3, see, it needs to hold up where it's at though. It does not need to drop below this doji candle. On the 1 minute, if it drops below this doji candle, it's gonna be done. So I got my stop loss a little tight on this one. Decent sized buyers trying to hold up 280, so it's gonna be the same situation where this 280 needs to hold up, needs to stop testing that. Yeah, it's gonna crack right here. Yep. Yep. So I jumped the gun on that one. I knew I jumped the gun too because it did not start turning around. I was looking at that doji thinking it was going to get another little trend reversal, but so my trading today is not very good. I'm going I don't think I should make another trade because of how bad my decision making is. Maybe best for me to come back Monday with a clear head. LBLN cracked hard. That thing's still halted. See, ears got a random pop, so we're getting these weird random pops on stuff. Let me look around here. DFH, was this a new IPO? It's got a nice rip. 20 to 26. See, what is this? This is some type of Asian stock. And TN. AZRX getting ready to possibly test this high a day. SPY did have that little dump, actually. Huh, that's weird. Let's see, that started selling off at 9:10. And I started popping at 9:10. Yeah, okay. I'm actually, with a little bit of funds left I got today, I think I'm going to buy a few shares of this to hold. So volatility index fund. Because I like where it's at. I like the price that it's at, and I'm already suspicious of the market. So let's go with 6 if I can get 6 in there. Yeah, so I got 6 at 1660. Alright, so I'm just going to hold these. I'm just going to hold these 6, and if it drops down more, I may add more Monday. But looking at this yearly chart, there's pretty good support at 16. And I just don't see the market. I just don't see the market continuing to push up like it is. Especially here lately. These little candles, these little 1 minute or these not 1 minute, but these 1 day candles are really squeezed tight. Like sometimes there is squeezed tight days on the SPY and the markets, but here lately there's a lot of them. There's not, I mean, there's right here at the beginning of January there was some decent sized candles, but as we've gotten closer and closer into January, or not closer, but further into January, these candles are getting tighter and tighter. And actually, too, I think if I remember correctly, hold on, I'm gonna look at the SPY overall. See, that's 2020. We got that drop in February. See, that drop was in October. But yeah, see here, let's see. 2019, we pretty much had a bull run all year. Back here in 2018, we had a drop in February and January. Yeah, so here's just looking at this from a technical analysis standpoint, you can see every time it's gotten off of the 50-day moving average, right here it got off the 50-day, big pullback. Right now, this looks exactly the same. Good bit off of the 50-day. The 50-day is way back down here at 330. So that's probably correction territory. Yeah, 340, that's probably correction territory. If we don't have a full market crash, we just have a pullback, which is more of what I'm expecting, then we could see a pullback to the 340 area. That's why I'm personally I'm going to start adding a little bit of shares of these volatility inverse ETFs. But the rest of the time, you can see the 50, the market pretty well stays on the 50. Like if it's a bull market, the 50 it usually doesn't get too far off of. We are pretty far. Yeah, look at this on this whole chart. This is the farthest we've ever been off of the 50. on the bullish side. This one was a little ways off the 50, and then we had COVID. This one is way off the 50. And then on the sell side, when it got way off the 50, it did pull back up above the 50. And there again, so the 50 seems to be kind of the area this likes. And this one was way off the 50 as well, and it pulled back to the 50. So yeah, I think we're at least going to get somewhat of a correction soon. I could be wrong. I easily could be wrong, but just looking at this, let me see QQQ. Yeah, God, same thing. You see QQQ usually stays right on the 50, and now there's a big gap between the 9 and the 50 there on QQQ. Yeah, looking at this on the max chart. I mean, you can just see we're way off of previous highs or previous lows. Yeah, this is a bubble. The stock market's in such a bubble. I don't know when it's going to happen, but at some point it's going to come down in the near future. There's no way it can sustain these moves without a pullback. I think we're going close. We're going to get close to a correction. I'm not a Nostradamus. I'm just putting the pieces together of the puzzle to get an idea. I mean, you go and look at the SPY. There's not really any good PR. There's no reason the stock market should be as high as it is. It's a bubble. But if you look at this PR, none of it's really good. We got stuff about Twitter and banning stuff and impeachment. Let's see what else we got. The first home sales. Let's see. Yeah, so the home sales were 1.3% lower than the consensus estimate. So that's not good. PMI for January. That's actually higher, but just barely. So manufacturing PI is up higher than the prior reading. Now there is a case. There is a case if they do pass this other stimulus, this next stimulus bill, which most likely will get passed, the one where they're going to send everybody $1,400 checks. There is a good case that the market could keep going up. Because that would just inflate the bubble more. But the higher the market goes right now, the more skeptical I'm going to be of a pullback coming. You see the market did bounce a little bit there off of that little sell-off. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You see, pretty red today. See, this is the shit I'm talking about. This is why I'm so skeptical right now. It's because the market, is way up here in this 380 area, the S&P 500. And then you look at the market watch, and there's only a few companies that are green. Like, the majority of companies are red. But look which companies are green. Google, Facebook, Microsoft, Apple. It's those 4 or 5 companies that are holding up the whole damn entire market. Like, how long can those 4 or 5 companies keep holding up the rest of the market? I mean, there's very, very little green in this today. That's why I'm skeptical. What are you laughing at? That's the truth. That's the truth on life. I don't know why you think this is crazy. The markets are weighted. The S&P 500 is weighted with 45% of the weight on these four or five companies: Facebook, Google, Apple, Amazon, Microsoft. So if those 4 or 5 are doing good, and the rest of the market cannot be doing too good and go up, it can still go up. That's just how it is. But that is a weakness. This is a weakness. It's not a good thing that there's only 4 or 5 companies that holds up the S&P 500. You add that with all the money printing and all the tax raises, because Janet Yellen has said multiple times they're going to raise capital gains tax. They're even talking about a capital gains tax over the long term that acts pretty much like commission fees used to be. It'll be on per share per trade. If you think the stock market is going to react positive to higher capital gains tax and taxes on shares being traded, then that would be a stretch for me. I agree with you, Daniel B. I think you're right. You've been saying the debt has been so crazy. Uh, which it is. The debt definitely has been very crazy. No, I'm not gonna separate the two channels. That's crazy. That'd be twice the work to separate the two channels. This investing. This this channel is about finances and stuff, investing, stock market trading, all that stuff. So I'm not. That's crazy talk. Yeah, I mean it's bigger. It's bigger than what people think. Like the, all the top economists right now are having a debate. And that debate is simply this: whether there's going to be inflation or deflation. There's no debate whether or not everything's going to go back to normal, because it's not possible. We're 27, 28 trillion in debt, and Joe Biden's plans are all spending more money. So we're going to be probably, and that new stimulus bill is 1.9 trillion. So we're probably going to be in 30 trillion plus debt here in the next month or two. This is not sustainable for an economy. I've been talking about this for a while. Like, just because the market keeps going up, even though I've been saying and Daniel B's been saying and people are saying that the market's going to come down. I mean, the market always comes down. It's not like it's a mysterious crystal ball prediction. The market has pullbacks. There will be a pullback. I'm not like, if the market has a pullback, I'm like, well, I told you. But I'm more concerned with the fact that the market has not pulled back at all. And COVID did not really, that COVID pullback back here in March wasn't that big of a pullback for a global pandemic to happen. Over a 20-year span, that was a decent little pullback, but it wasn't that big of a pullback looking at the overall price. And there's a key factor here when you're looking at this. 2008 market crash, this happened. The housing market crash, and then Obama started doing QE, and those quantitative easing, well, not Obama, but the Fed started doing these quantitative easings, and the market is in this big bubble. I mean, look at this. This is pretty much a straight up trend line of the market going straight up since 2008. So it's a bubble. This is artificial inflation of the Feds buying stocks and bonds and junk bonds and all that stuff. And the other problem is the thing that caused this crash is happening again right now. What is happening is the banks are taking all the loans and wrapping them up into I can't remember what they're called. It's some type of like a bond or something, but they're wrapping those up, and then Wall Street is buying them from the banks for people's 401ks. So if you got a 401k or a pension, right now, you're investing in shitty house loans and stuff. It's very similar to 2008. The problem in 2008 was never fixed. It was never fixed. And so as our debt has increased, the market continues to go up as our debt is increased. I wonder why that is. Because the QE, because all the money printed and all that stuff is buying in to the market over this past 12 years. COVID should have popped this bubble, and we should have came down a little further. Should have came down to like this area. But it didn't. The Fed started doing QE again and propped up the market. Started buying all the junk bonds and all the treasuries and inflated this bubble more. So this is going to happen whether or not it's going to be this year or next year or 10 years from now, at some point the market is going to have one hell of a pullback, because what we're doing right now is not sustainable. No, Dan, it did not start with Trump. That you like if you're saying that our debt raising started with Trump, then I mean I just showed you in 2008 where the QE started. Trump did not start QE. Trump did do QE. Trump is a part of this bubble that was inflated, but it did not start with Trump. Trump got elected right here. This QE was happening way back here, so you know, I don't know how you would put that on Trump only. Like it's our whole government that's done this. These crazy regulations and all the stuff they keep doing, and the Fed doing what it's doing. This has been going on for a long time. This isn't something new. Like Obama just didn't start causing this bubble. Like the bubble was a bubble before Obama was even president. Like you can look back. So was Obama? Let's see. Obama was 2008 to 2016. Yeah, so there's the housing market crash. And if you look back before 2008, right there in 95, the market exploded, pulled back, big pullback, exploded, big pullback, and the crash, the housing market. The bubble is already getting inflated back here. This bubble started here. This is where the bubble started, 1995. That's when we really started doing QE and all that stuff. Started with Clinton and all his stuff. So this has continued to happen. This QE, 2008, the housing market popped the first little bubble. And instead of letting the market sort itself out, the government got involved and started doing QE, and they started pushing this up again. And it's the same thing that's been happening. This has been happening for 20-something years. This is a long bubble. That's why a lot of the economists are saying we are going to either see deflation or inflation real soon. Yeah, I mean you can you can point out the Republican hypocrisy, but it's the Democrats and the Republicans who both have ran the government. So the hypocrisy is on both sides. There's no point in pointing at one side when you actually realize that when you're looking at this from an economic level and not a political level, that it's both sides who have been a bunch of dumbasses the past 25, 30 years. It really started way back in 1970 when they took the dollar off the gold standard. So really we've had about, I don't know, 50 years of dumbasses in government. So like you can point the finger at one side if you want. I'm putting it on both sides because both sides have been in control of the government, and the results have been the same. The outcome is the same. We're here now where we're in 27 trillion in debt because of Democrats and Republicans both. So yeah, the last 20 years exactly has gone haywire. It's such a bubble. So like I said, I don't know when it's going to happen. I'm not adept enough in economics to call out when a market crash is going to happen. I'm just seeing all the signs that it's coming. Like I've been aware that we've been in a bubble, but the Feds was propping it up. You know, I was saying don't go against the Feds back in March when this crash happened, and we started getting a rebound. I was saying, you know, I started buying in stocks because I was like, yeah, if the Feds are gonna buy everything up, they're gonna reinflate the bubble, and that's exactly what they did. So the problem is there's only so long that you can inflate the bubble. It's a bubble, so when it's inflated, when it's full of too much air, what does the bubble do? It pops. So that's where we're getting to. We're getting to like the question is, how much longer can this bubble be inflated? And that's why I was looking back on this max chart to see how, from a technical standpoint, how high this was off of kind of those main indicators, and it's pretty high off compared to the rest of the chart. The stock market's way off where it should be. It should be around in this area right now. But it's already officially inflated above the prices. Well, that's the thing. That's why the economists are debating right now whether it's going to be inflation or deflation, because if it's one or the other, it's going to depend on the investment. There's a good debate that just happened not too long ago. You can look it up. Peter Schiff versus Harry Dent. It's about 2.5 hours. Peter Schiff and Harry Dent both agree that the market is going to have problems. The economy is going to have some big issues, that we're heading for a very bad place. But both of them disagree if it's going to be inflation or deflation and what the best investments are going to be. Because if it's deflation, you want to have cash. So, because with deflation, everything else drops in prices a whole lot, so your cash has better buying power. If it's inflation, then you don't want to have any cash, and your buying power is going to be destroyed if you're holding on to cash. So one of the safest things for this time is gold. Gold may drop some, but gold at least is a decent hedge. Biden will mess what up? I mean, Biden's got a lot of stuff that sounds good in theory, but a lot of like every single thing that he's saying that sounds good also costs a lot of money, and we don't have any money. So that's why I'm getting real skeptical. You know, I'm not going to pretend I know better than these top economists who are having the debate right now whether or not there's a crash coming. There's a crash coming, according to them. So, the debate is just whether or not it's going to be inflation or deflation. So, for investing, I mean, at this point, I really don't know yet. We need to see some evidence that a crash is going to happen, because right now we really don't have much evidence. My only evidence on a technical side, but it's hard to see evidence when it comes to this stuff. See, how'd I get AM? Okay, max. It's like I said, those candles on the daily are getting real small, and we're way off the 50. But that's not really evidence. The market could continue to climb. I'll check one more thing on this ETF I started buying. And yeah, you can see on this ETF, volume started picking up. What is that? On this inverse ETF in January 19th, and the volume increased until we had a crash. on the market. This was February, March when COVID hit. We got a crash and this thing ripped, and then it's been coming back down ever since. But the volume, the amount of people who are buying in, there was a little drop after the crash, but the buying's been coming back in. This is a lot of buying for an inverse ETF if the market's stable. If the market was stable, you wouldn't have all that. So I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there, giving you guys my thoughts on it. I could be very wrong, but I listen to the top economists and their debates, and nobody is debating that I'm aware of that the market is and everything is going to be fine. No, there's no economist saying the economy's fine. All of them are saying. I'm not saying everything's high risk in life. What I'm saying is there's a good chance. See, GameStop did make another nice move. Broke over at 47. But what I'm saying is there's a very good chance. I mean, we're getting like is your argument that there's not going to be a pullback at all? Because the market pulls back. We know the market has pullbacks. So I'm not saying go. I'm not saying at all to go pull out all your stocks or liquidate your accounts. I haven't said to do anything. All I'm saying is I'm preparing. I'm watching really closely, because when all the top economists are saying that we're in deep shit, then I'm going to listen to them. And we don't have to, and it's not like it's that skeptical. We're going to be $30 trillion in debt soon. So it's not like this is all coming out of nowhere. There's a lot of reasons why we could see some issues and stuff start to happen. I'm not pushing it saying that this is going to happen for sure. I'm just saying you should be very aware that this could be happening. So there's a lot of them. There's a lot of the debates that are posted to YouTube, but the economist that you want to be looking into are Jim Rickards, Harry Dent, Peter Schiff. Yeah, I agree. GameStop is a bubble. I don't see why GameStop is moving like it is in the first place. I was just looking at it for a possible day trade, but yeah, like a lot of those economists, they'll be on TV on different places, but pretty much all their debates and stuff can be found on YouTube. And then Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad, he's saying the same thing as well. He's not exactly a top economist. He's just a very good entrepreneur, but he listens to a lot of smart people. So BNGO's at all time highs. Oh yeah, BNGO's still no, it's not at all time highs. It's close. It was 4 cents away, so it may But that $10 area is going to be really tough. That is going to be an extremely tough area to break. If it does break that, though, it could be off to the races with it. But going from what, 45 cents all the way up to $10? I don't know. That's going to be a stretch. Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to test those all-time highs just by looking at the chart, but I don't know if it's going to break. I mean, anything is possible, but that is going to be really tough for that to break. So APWC sold off and OBLN sold off. But I give the stream about 10 or 15 minutes here. Probably like 10 minutes. I haven't followed BNGL that closely, so I didn't know the buyers are buying up. So I mean, that's a better sign. I was just saying off of the chart, just looking at the chart, that $10 will be tough. But if you've done your due diligence and all that, and you think it's got a pretty good chance of breaking, then you very well could be right. I was just saying off of the chart, though. To me, it doesn't look like it will break $10 right now. But if you've got the info, then you absolutely could be right. Well, I don't understand why GameStop would even go to 100 though. That store has been going downhill, and a lot of people can buy. I mean, now you can buy your games right on your console. So I don't know what purpose GameStop is going to serve for much longer. Oh, it has 75% short float. Good lord. So most of the flow's being held by shorters. Yeah, if that gets short squeezed, yeah, BNGO could rip hard. Because if those shorts if that many shorts have to cover, if it gets pushed up over 10, then them shorters are gonna they're gonna start getting destroyed, and they're all gonna be jumping out at once. There's a good possibility. Somebody was what are you who's arguing with you One Life about GameStop going to 100? Cuz I don't see that happening. That's what I was saying. That's No, I'm looking at the max chart. The GameStop's never even been close to 100. That's a terrible argument. I definitely do not see that happening. Like I said, they're a trash can company in the first place. They're a dying company. Yeah, it's got major resistance at $58. And it's got quite a bit of resistance where it's at right now. This probably could be the end of the run on GameStop. Some random guy on a video. Yeah, I don't. I'd have to hear his argument, but I can't think of any argument that would make sense of why GameStop would go to 100. Like GameStop is just too much. Like GameStop is like Blockbuster to me. Like GameStop was good while it was around, but there's no way that GameStop can adapt to the market conditions of Xbox and PS and all that, selling the games right on the console where you don't even have to leave your house. And those consoles are doing a lot better deals. They'll do deals and stuff where you can get the games for really cheap. The only thing that GameStop has going for it is that they allow trade-ins, but if people stop buying the games physically and they're just buying them on their console, well, they can't trade. You can't trade in a non-physical game, so yeah, I could see why there's a lot of heavy short interest on GameStop, but I don't see them getting overbought and having to cover. See, AZRX just started popping. Oh yeah, AZRX has been moving, but it's running into this 200-day moving average right here on the max chart. Let's see what it looks like on the 1-year chart. Well, it's above it on the 1-year chart, but that $2 area is going to be tough because that 200-day moving average is there on the max chart. See, the whole time this company's been around, they have never been over the 200-day moving average, except for like the first little bit that they were open. So that 200 is going to be extremely strong. I mean, there's a little pop there, but it pulled back below. Let's see, it does have pretty decent buying volume. It'd take a lot of volume to break that. And it may break at intraday here, but I would say by the end of the day it will close back below 200, that 200-day moving average. Yeah, no, GameStop is definitely not the newest Tesla, or not the new Tesla. GameStop is the new Blockbuster. I don't care if they're starting a digital store. Why would you go shop at GameStop's digital store if you can buy the games on the console? I don't see them being able to do anything to compete at all, personally. Yeah, I mean, VNGO, it's still climbing. Like I said, it's very possible it could get up and test the $10 area today. It did just hit a new high. It would be. I don't think it's gonna break 10 today. I think if it's gonna break 10, it'll do it. It'll do it next week. Cause it is Friday. I don't see a lot of. I don't see a lot of people wanting to hold this over the weekend, especially if it does break 10. Like it may be the same type of situation where it might break above 10 intraday, but I think by the end of the day it'll still close below 10. As you can see the selling pressure. Just to break, making this new high a day. There's some good selling pressure right there holding it down at the moment. Yeah, a lot of sellers sitting there on the ask. Yeah, that'll be tough. Nice, 820 in pre-market. Yeah, that was a good. That was a pretty good buying area. Looking back at pre-market, a lot of good support straight across right there. I don't know, draw or not drawing. There it goes. So yeah, you can see all that support right there. So that was a good entry. You definitely know what you're doing trading for charity. That was definitely a good entry. Nice. So you got a lot of experience with this one stock. That's good. It is possible to only trade one stock for day trade a stock over and the same stock over and over again. You can get some consistent gains that way because you start to really learn the patterns of how that stock moves and you see the support and resistance a lot easier. Boy, that IPO took a dump. Let's see, I'm just checking to see Bitcoin's back. Yeah, okay. Yeah, a lot of the cryptos are starting to come back up. Well, how the hell did I get back on GameStop? Yeah, you can see that selling pressure came in there and pushed this down. If it can hold above 950, if it can hold above 950, it should be good to come back up and test that 965 area. So you said 989. I'm seeing it more at 977. There's a good bit of ask sitting there. You see, there's a lot of sellers sitting at 950 as well now, holding up as resistance. And they all kind of got taken out there. But yeah, on my level 2 there, though, the bit is showing a lot right there at that 977 area. But it's probably from the resistance really is probably from 965 to $10. Like this whole area has got some sellers sitting in it. I mean, we're seeing the selling pressure at the moment. Possible. What the hell did I just do? There we go. Yeah, 930 does look like look like pretty good support, but it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell with a short squeeze this much, because at this $10 resistance area, you're going to get a lot of indecision, and if enough buying volume doesn't come in to break that $10, then the shorts are going to slam the hell out of this. So I mean, you're in at 820, so you're fine, but looking for that breakout at 10, it's very possible that it could get slammed. It'll be interesting to see. I appreciate your insights on it. And that short float information was good information to know about it. Look at GameStop up to 50 now. This is nonsense. I don't know how you can compare, like this PR alone is pretty dumb. How can you compare GameStop to Intel and IBM? Yeah, that's their news. Shares are trading higher as the stock continues to gain momentum amid strong retail investor interest. Right now, the hedge funds and institutions are sitting back, letting the retail traders push this up. They're going to dump the hell out of GameStop soon. This is going to be a bloodbath. They're setting up the retail traders for with a trap here. This is a definite trap. They've got $1 billion in debt. Yeah, this is a trap for retail traders. Retail traders thinking that this is going to be some rebound on GameStop and GameStop's going to go crazy. Then the institutions are going to kill everybody on this. I wouldn't touch this with your money. I wouldn't touch this with One Life's money or Daniel B's money. Yeah, I mean, it's possible that GameStop could go to 60 or whatever, but like I said, I'm not touching this because at any point in time, those institutions who've been holding GameStop for years way back here, they've probably been slowly liquidating their positions. This is a perfect liquidation time for them while the retail traders are going crazy with GameStop. They can slip all their little share positions in the midst of this while it's going up, and then when they get down low enough, they'll just dump the rest of it when they've got like a smaller positions. But that's the thing with these institutions and hedge funds, they're trading millions and millions of dollars in position sizes, so they can't just sell out all at once. They have to continually do small orders over and over again over a long period of time to get out of it. And they will drop chunks. Like right here, this is probably chunks of them dropping because it just shot up to $43. Any hedge fund that had millions of dollars at $20 in GameStop, they doubled their money right there, so they're gonna dump it. And then they see the retail traders keep pushing it up. They're like, oh yeah, keep pushing it up. Keep doing that. And they're going to come back in and dump it again. It's a trap. I would be highly surprised. You might be able to make some money off of it, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it one bit. Like I said, I wouldn't touch it. Yeah, like One Life said too, GameStop will start dropping public offerings of shares to try to get rid of some of their debt, to try to pay back some of their debt, and those public offerings will just dilute the float, and dilute the public shares, and it's a trap. I'm just telling you. Yeah. Well, on GameStop specifically, it's retail investors playing chicken with institutional investors and hedge funds. So I'm not playing chicken with institutional investors and hedge funds. They got way more money than I do and way more power and influence on the government and stuff. I'm not playing chicken with them. Yeah, but the shorts know that listen, here's the thing: if this is a trap, like I'm saying, those hedge funds and institutions are the ones who are going short, so they're going to go short against it while they're selling their positions off slowly. So they're not going to short it until they get all their positions out of it, all their old positions. Once they cash in all that, then they'll slam it hard, and then they'll cover it on the shorts on the way down. They're not going to cover right now. They're not going to be forced to cover by retail investors. Retail investors, we don't have enough money combined to get the institutional investors to be scared of them having to cover. That's not going to happen. So they don't have to cover now because they know whenever they want to they can bring this down. They're just letting it ride out. Yeah, but who has more power? The brokers or the hedge funds and institutions? The brokers are just exchanges. If the hedge funds and institutions pull all their money out of the brokers and change brokers, then the brokers aren't nothing. So the brokers are not going to margin call on any of these institutional investors and hedge funds. They only margin call on the people who's not on their side. Those people we're talking about, they're on the broker side. They all work together in this. I mean, BNGO could run, or not BNGO, but GameStop. See, BNGO I think is a little different. I don't think there's probably a ton of institutions on BNGO. That's probably more retail traders on the short side. And I don't know what BNGO's stats are, but GameStop, on the other hand, like I said, is a trash can company. That is possible. That's the thing. That's why it's so hard right now to tell what is going to happen, because these stimulus packages are not a normal thing for markets. They don't happen. And when they do happen, you don't know how things are going to react. So I don't know. That's why I keep saying I could be wrong in my assessment of all this. This is just my assessment, but things can change so damn quick that you just never know. But all right, guys, I'm gonna call it a day. Appreciate everybody joining me as always. We'll be back Monday. We'll see what Monday brings. See if the market starts coming down a little bit or anything. Who knows? We'll see what Biden talks about and all that. But yeah, you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there. Till next time.